you are only able to do the jihad as-saghir, the smaller jihad. You went and you fought the enemies of Islam, so on and so forth. You've done the small jihad. They said the small jihad, people died out there, people gave their heart for you. What do you mean small jihad? He said jihad al-akbar is when you fight with yourself, not against the enemy. That's who a strong man is, someone who can fight himself. Everyone can throw a fist, but can you throw a fist at your own desires? So, that's mihrab. We're standing there to fight with the devil and with ourselves. Here are a few quick points, 6 points only, and I'll rush through them. If you want me to elaborate afterwards, then I'll be happy to, otherwise I don't want to take up your time any further. The first thing is that a lot of us, I rush my prayer. I rush my prayer. Like I said, I can set Guinness records for 2 rakat salat. Honestly, it's not good. The same way, liken it to your homework. Sometimes you get art students that they will take hours on a piece of art, right? But as soon as it comes to maths homework, 4 times 4 is 82, 6 times 2 is 72, you know, that divided by that is 1, whatever, finished, give it in, whatever, finished. But when it comes to a piece of art, because they love art, because they value art, they'll take hours with this stroke and brush up with the next stroke. You know, they really take their time. So we can see that one who rushes his prayer doesn't value his prayer. So the first thing is, take a bit more time during your prayer. Now that doesn't mean stand there for hours, no. Instead of saying, try to, for instance, finish every word before you go to the next word. For instance, don't, once you finish the surah, and you go down. You're mixing everything up, and your prayer is not valid. Because we know that you cannot move to the next part of prayer until you finish the previous part of prayer. So once you finish your surah, then you go down. Can you say subhanallah as you're going down? No. You have to first enter the position, and then subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. Then stand. You can't say subhanallah while you're standing. As in, we have to really take care and not rush, basically. Second point.
Sorry, just one quick question. When you say Sami Allah liman hamidah, can you go down and you say Allahu Akbar, or do you say Allahu Akbar first and then do you go down?
You'd say, for instance, after that, you'd say Sami Allah liman hamidah, Allahu Akbar, then you'd go down.
You have to be in down.
You can say as you go down.
You could probably say it down. It's better to say that.
There's a dispute.
But you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to come halfway up and then go down. You have to come all the way up and then go down.
Okay, so you have to finish the action, then go into the next action. Okay. Second point. Sometimes we delay our prayer for something that really doesn't need to be delayed for. Like, for instance, you might have a lady at home cooking, or we might be cooking for ourselves. We come home, we're hungry, we want to quickly finish something, but we're scared that if we go pray, it's going to burn, and if we turn it off and then go pray and come turn it back on, the guests are going to arrive, it's going to be too late, or I'm going to be too hungry, I'm going to be too tired, blah, blah. So we finish the cooking, then we say our prayer afterwards.
Biggest mistake.
For anything. If you delay your prayer for anything, it's basically worth nothing. It's worth nothing. And there's actually a hadith from Imam Sadiq who says that one who delays, who gives up their prayer, that what we say, like within the first half an hour of Adhan, you'd kind of consider Abal al-Bakht. So the first thing prayer. He says, Imam Sadiq, not me, Imam Sadiq says that one who gives up the prayer of Abal al-Bakht for anything is like one who gives up the hereafter for the world. That's how it is. It's that simple. Prayer comes first.
Just a little point here, that sometimes like there's situations where you should pick up, like if people are waiting to eat.
Yeah. If, for instance, they say like, if you've got guests or something, and they're waiting to eat, they're at the sufra, not they're going to put down the mat and put down the plates, everything's ready, they're waiting to put it in their plates and eat, then they say you should leave your prayer till afterwards, because you're keeping all those people from eating. So there are certain conditions where you're allowed to technically delay it. But, again, it's not part of this topic now. Inshallah, we'll cover it another time. We'll continue with this and then we'll... The third thing, so again, someone who gives up their next world for this world, okay? The third thing, learn the rules of prayer. I myself don't know all the rules of prayer. You know, someone comes to me and asks me, what do I do if this happens, if that happens, if whatever? Would I know how to answer it? I don't know. But how is it that when someone comes and says, what's offside, you know straight away? What happens if a fourth substitute wants to come on? No fourth substitute, sorry, only 3 substitutes per game. What happens after 90 minutes if they're drawing? Extra time. And then what? Penalties. And then what? Sudden death. I don't know. We know all the rules of football, or of, you know, something else that we like, that we have interest in, but we don't know the rules of prayer. What do we do if, for instance, you know, this is a question, what do we do if we're in the second rakat and we forget to do qunut and go down to ruku? What happens? Is our prayer batil?
It's qunut, no. It's not what? It's not.
Why?
Why? Qunut is not wajib.
Exactly. I have some people say, oh, I thought to my qunut and I will go pray. No, brother. It's not wajib. It's mustahab. It's good to do it.
You can do it on the third rakat.
Yeah, if you forget, you can. So, you know, do we know all the rules? Probably not. So then that shows how important it is to us. Because if we knew all the rules, we'd hold it high. Now, the fourth thing is that not preparing for a prayer in the right manner. For instance, like there's been many times where you come home and you've been out with your friends or something, or you've been working on an assignment. Let's not say we're always out with our friends, but no, I think that you're all hard-working, me too. We spend the nights working hard. That's how we are. We've been working hard on an assignment, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, salat is at 4 o'clock. We know that if we sleep, we're probably not going to wake up. Why is it then that we sleep? So many times it's happened where we go to bed and then we miss our alarm because we're so out of it that we just snooze button and eventually snooze it so much that it becomes the next night. Do you see what I mean? As in, why is it that we don't just put a note? For instance, you know, if someone's awake, tell them. So many times my brother's told me, he's texted me from his room saying, Amin, I'm going to bed, can you wake me up for salat? So he's taken that precaution and texted me. He knows I'm asleep and my phone's on silent, but when I wake up for salat, I'm going to see my phone. So I go and I wake him up. Or write a note, stick it on the door. So when your mum and dad walk around the house, they see, oh, what's this on the door? Oh, wake me up? Okay, they wake you up. We don't take the necessary precautions. We think, oh, it's okay, my alarm will wake me up. But when we know that sometimes we sleep through it, why do we still take the risk? Yeah? Also, for instance, some people say, how can I increase my concentration during salat? I've heard from a very high alim that if you want concentration in your salat, concentrate in your wudu. When you're going to do niyat for wudu and you're doing your wudu, think about why you're doing wudu. Make your niyat. Allah, you know, forgive the sins that I've done with my face, with my arms, help me, this, that, the other. Think about your prayer. I'm going to be standing in front of my Lord, my Creator. Now, you might not even be able to comprehend what that even means, which a lot of us can't comprehend. But at least understand that, okay, you know, a lot of us are materialistic. At least understand that, okay, I'm going to be standing in front of someone that if I do what I'm going to do now, with concentration, he's going to give me what I want. Good. Okay, so let's concentrate. And it works. It helps. Build up that concentration. Build up that respect for who you're standing in front of. The fifth point, the sukoon of prayer. Stopping, starting. Again, like I said, like don't go down while you're doing your surah. Don't stand up while you're, you know, without finishing your salam, this, that, the other. Everything has to be in its place with respect. And like, you know, like some people, they like sit and they like, alhamdulillah, no, you're standing in front of God. You may be tired, put a bit of effort in. How long does it take? 30 seconds. Alhamdulillah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Just put a bit of effort in, you know? Like I do it myself sometimes. You're so dead tired, you don't know what you're saying. But just put a bit of effort in. At least show, at least act like you're there, that you're respecting. Back straight a bit, you know. I don't want to get too picky, but these things help. Because when you go to see someone important, you don't stand there with your hand in your pocket. Yeah, your hand's when you go to the headmaster and they say, hand out your pocket, stand straight. That's a headmaster. So, you know, you stand a bit nice, feet not obviously not together. And then, go down properly, do this. I hit the last point and finish. And one last thing, if you really want your prayer to start hitting home, you really want it to mean something, extend your sujood. That's the most important. They say, Allah says, the angels actually say this, that if the humans knew how much sawab they're getting for every second they're spending in sujood, they'll never lift up their head. Never. Yet we are like chickens pecking the ground. Finish. I can't even get the S of subhanallah before I lift my head up. Yet we do this. And then extend one of your sujoods, not all of them. No. Pick a sujood. Say, on the last sajda, I'm going to extend it by giving a salawat as well. So, Subhan Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdih, Subhanallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. What's that? 2 seconds on top of that? 3? Great, my Guinness Book of World Record, 40 seconds south is over. It's 42 seconds. But what do I get in return? I get the next one. I get the fact that Allah says, okay, He's making the effort to praise me, so I will put it in His heart to the sweetness of that praise. When you show Him that I'm making the effort, I want to understand prayer, I want to take care of it, I want to praise You how You should be praised, then He will start giving it to you. But not if we're rushing it and we're not making that effort. Believe me, even if you don't feel it or whatever, just have your head there. Don't even say anything. Just have your head on the Torah for a second more. Just to actually understand that you've done a sajda, not that you just picked the ground. Did I pick up the little seed? No. Just 1 second extra. So you acknowledge that you've done a sujood. And believe me, Allah will change your life inside out. You'll realise that everything that's going bad for you starts going good for you. That's how Allah works. And it's that easy. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.